What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new Starcraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the bottom right hand corner of Acid Plant LE, playing with the blue Protoss pieces. He's a very good Protoss player, to say the least. His name is DnS. And his opponent spawning in the cross position, playing with the red Terran pieces. He's a very well-known Terran player in the world of Starcraft 2. His name is none other than HeroMarine. So guys and girls, I'm really excited about this game and this series in particular because it was played at the WCS in Austin and was the round of 16 of that tournament, so a best of 5 series. So all these games do matter in the grand scheme of things because you got a chance at moving on to the round of 8, or also known as the quarterfinals, and then a shot at possibly making it to the semifinals. And then if you're able to make it to the grand finals and you win the tournament, any of those tournaments on the WCS stops, you get automatically invited to BlizzCon, which of course is the biggest tournament of the year for StarCraft 2. Now, these two players, I'm really excited to kind of see what they decide to do. It's been a while since I casted a game from DnS, so I'm really excited to, be casting more of his games. But to say the least, let's just kind of look at and see what both our players are deciding to do on either side of the map. Looks like DnS is going to go for that gateway into the natural nexus, and then going to follow that up with the cybernetics core. And then on the opposite side, it looks like HeroMarine is going to go for that barracks into the orbital command, and then most likely, yes, the natural command center. So very standard builds by both players so far in this game. It looks like a Reaper is going to be coming out of the barracks. This is going to be followed up with a factory for HeroMarine. So pretty standard on both sides of the map, at least at this point. Probe Scout did go across the map just to see if there was any kinds of cheese or any timings that DnS did wanted to see, of course. So that said, it looks like we are going to start seeing the techs of choice coming out. We are going to see a Stargate coming out of DnS. So I'm going to be interested to see if he's going to go for Phoenixes or maybe Oracles. It's going to be interesting play on his part, but we are going to see a reactor going down on the barracks. So are we gonna possibly see the factory switch with the reactor? Maybe get double cyclones, maybe? Or it looks like double. We're gonna get double Marines right now, and then we're also gonna get a Hellion out of the factory. So interesting decision making. It does look like the Warp Gate research is going to be coming in for DnS, and then of course that Stargate. Be very interested to see what he starts to produce out of the Stargate. Does look like it's going to be Oracles. And there is a depth that is going to shade in, maybe try to get a little bit of some scouting information going, see if there's any types of timings. We are going to see Cyclones now coming out of the factory. I like the decision a lot. I really feel that the Cyclones, I love seeing the Cyclone play because I feel like they are powerful in big numbers. And I just see a lot of Terran players actually have been skipping out on even really getting very many Cyclones in the current meta. But that said, it does look like 2 more gateways are going to be going down for DnS. And it looks like there's a couple of units that are going to start moving across the map for HeroMarine. He's probably going to want to try to get a little bit of some scouting information. There's going to be a Stalker that is going to be able to meet these units, a Hellion and a Reaper to be exact. Does look like, though, we are going to see the cloaking field coming out of that starport as well as the Banshee. So I like this decision a lot, actually, by HeroMarine to go for this. But the question, though, is that DnS is going to scout that something is being researched in the TAC lab. And most likely, you can kind of break it down to a few different things, like as to what it could possibly be. But that's how you do not want to lose this Oracle. It does not look like he is going to lose that, but nonetheless, Warpgate's going to be finishing up in less than 10 seconds. We're going to see a Phoenix follow-up out of the Stargate. And now that the Warpgate has been researched, does look like a couple of these units did get caught off guard, and it does look like that probe is going to go ahead and begin the third nexus. Third command center is going to be going down now as well for HeroMarine. And it looks like he's going to have like a Liberator switch out of the starport, so I like that decision as well. But it does look like there are a good amount of units that are starting to move. It looks like a timing push here as we pass that 5-minute mark. The question is there going to be enough here for HeroMarine to hold on? Because this looks like a pretty scary push by DnS. He does have a decent amount of Stalkers out, as well as 1 Phoenix and a couple of Oracles. So here we go. It does look like this Widowmine is going to try to burrow. Not going to get much there, though. Is going to be picked off before he's able to do any kind of crippling amounts of damage. We're going to see a Forge, as well as the Twilight Council is going to be constructed as well. And it does look like, is DnS going to continue on with this aggression? There is a siege tank in the high ground, so you got to be really careful when you approach this. It does look like DnS may want to split up this army. That would be very interesting. He continues the push here. But we are going to see that the mass revelation is on some of these units. Charges being researched, as well as those +1 upgrades. Now we are going to see this Liberator is going to come across the map and is going to try to get a couple of kills if he can, but it's going to be shut down before it pretty much even started for HeroMarine. DnS playing pretty well right now, but I gotta say both players are kind of, you know, they're on an even scale right now. Even though DnS is a little bit ahead of the supply count, gotta say that HeroMarine is certainly not out of this thing just yet. But now that the 3rd Nexus is down, DnS is going to be able to get a booming economy, and I know that HeroMarine is going to be landing this 3rd command center here relatively soon, but I feel that there might be a need for HeroMarine to start trying to do a little bit of some damage across the map, because the longer this game goes, we all know that the Protoss player can really max out a very scary force. And it looks like Charge is just finishing up, and ground armor level 1 is going to be finishing up in less than 10 seconds for DnS. Also, robotics facility is going down. So we're starting to kind of see, as we've kind of moved into, you know, the mid-game, passing that 7-minute mark, we are going to see Stimpack is being researched out of the tech lab. So both players starting to get those upgrades going. And it does look like DnS once again is trying to, you know, find an angle. Can he possibly get an angle here and get some of these units? And just kind of really keep tabs on where HeroMarine's army is. And that's exactly what you need. You need to have as much information as possible when you are playing at the highest level of StarCraft 2. Blink is being researched as well right now, and there is another robotics, or I'm sorry, just one robotics facility. I thought there was another one, but it looks like there's just one. Infantry weapons, level 1 is going to be finishing up now in about 5 seconds for HeroMarine, and then Stimpack will be following that shortly. So it looks like both players are giving each other a lot of respect, though, at this part of the game. I just don't know if I really like HeroMarine giving so much, you know, just respect to DnS at this point, simply because DnS is going to have such a scary economy here shortly. Now, here's the thing, though, is it does look like HeroMarine is starting to move out. This 4th Nexus is going to be going down, but it does look like this army is going to be met by some charged zealots. You gotta be careful with the overextension on either side of this. It just feels like DnS has a little bit of a more of a scarier army here, even though he's got a lot of zealots, sentries, stalkers, and, you know, only 1 immortal. But it still is a little bit, you know, it's a little bit of a scary army composition, and especially going on four you know, bases for DnS. This is where it can get really scary for a Terran player who is trying to, you know, keep up. But I gotta say, HeroMarine is playing this pretty smart as well. He's kind of just, you know, waiting for the right opportunity to kind of pounce on his opponent. He is going to see now that something is coming out of that robotics facility. You know, of course, we are going to see that it's going to be Colossus, and I like that decision a lot by DnS to try to, like, you know, kind of be able to split up his army a little bit, especially with Marines and Marauders. You can do a lot of damage from long range if you get that extended range on the Colossus. But does look like HeroMarine is trying to kind of push this army back just a little bit, and with, you know, with those revelations, it's really kind of hard because DnS knows exactly where this army is and exactly when this army is going to be moving out, which looks to be right about now. And here we go. It's all going to come down to the engagement when it's all said and done. Got to be very, very careful. Here we go. The pickups are going to come in on those Widow Mines. Beautiful play there, but it seems like there's a good amount of Terran here. You got to be careful. The question is who's going to really get the upper hand here. Beautiful micro here by HeroMarine, getting a lot of these units. The pickups once again on those siege tanks are definitely going to help for the time being, but I still wonder, is there going to be enough Protoss here as those medevacs are helping out tremendously for HeroMarine? Beautiful play here as HeroMarine is starting to push onto DNS's side of the map, and this is starting to get kind of scary. The question though is this going to be a little bit of an overextension by HeroMarine? He's got to be very careful. We're approaching that 11-minute mark, and this is where it starts getting very interesting. The liberation zones are going to be coming in, and this is where the slow push for HeroMarine can come in. He can start trying to do a little bit of some damage, but here we go. DNS is going to try as hard as he can to hold on. He's getting that surround from all angles, but the question is it going to be enough? I don't know if it is. DNS's supply is starting to plummet, and just like that, the Colossus are going down. GG is called, and HeroMarine takes a 1-0 lead over DNS. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between HeroMarine and DNS. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and I'll see you guys all in game number 2. What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here. On the bottom right-hand corner of Darkness Sanctuary Ellie, playing with the red Terran pieces. He's currently up in this series and wants to keep it rolling in his favor. His name is HeroMarine. And his opponent spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Protoss pieces. He's currently down in this series, but certainly not out of it just yet. His name is DNS. So guys and girls, game number 2 in this best of 5 series that was played at the WCS in Austin, and was the round of 16, or one of the round of 16 games that were held at the tournament. And it's a best of 5, as I said, and this is one of the WCS stops, so all these games matter in the grand scheme of things. And there were moments where it felt like DNS had a much substantial greater army at times than HeroMarine, but he just didn't fully commit, it felt like, in game number 1. So in game number 2, I wonder what DNS is going to do. Very interestingly enough, it looks like this probe is trying to see if there's any kinds of, I think, proxy barracks or something, but nonetheless, it does look like DNS is going to go for that natural nexus early on here. We are also going to see, of course, gateway into the natural nexus, and then the follow-up with the cybernetics core. It does look like HeroMarine has decided to go for that barracks into the orbital command and then the natural command center. It does look like we are going to see a Marine coming out of the barracks, but the follow-up is going to be a factory. So extremely standard on both sides so far. And if you're a player of the likes of DNS, right, you're not one of the most well-known of players in the WCS pro scene, but still a very good Protoss player, to say the least. Obviously, being on the WCS pro circuit, I mean, you're obviously a very good StarCraft 2 pro gamer. But the question is what do you do if you're down a game to someone like HeroMarine, who's very well known in the StarCraft 2 pro scene? How do you get this series tied and try to move it back in your favor? That's the big question that we're going to be talking about in the narrative of this game number 2. As the Stargate's going to be coming out, we're going to see a Adept coming out of the gateway, and it does look like this SCV is best just kind of caught with his pants down on the opposite side of the map, trying to get a little bit of some scouting information, but it's all good. Nothing too crippling at this point. But we are going to see this Adept is going to start shading, try to maybe get a little some information as far as if there's any units that start moving across the map here. We are going to see this Adept is already going to be near the front gate of the Terran. It does look like he might lose this unit very, very soon. Oh my, very close. You do not want to just lose these adepts for free. I'm not sure exactly what DnS is doing, but he is probably going to end up losing this adept here if he's not careful. And he, just like that, does lose both adepts. A little bit sloppy play, but we are going to see the Oracle follow-up out of the Stargate. We're also going to see the Warp Gate research coming in. Another adept is going to go down now. Very interesting. We're going to see the double Cyclone play, which I really like, out of HeroMarine. We're going to see those double Cyclones coming out. And now we see these Hellions are going to start moving across the map. Going to try to get a little bit of some, information if they can, but they are going to be shooed away by that Oracle. So, we're going to see 2 more gateways going down as well. Stimpaks being researched. We're also going to see, of course, another command center. So a 3rd command center is being constructed. Warp Gate is going to be finishing up in less than 5 seconds. And, oh, beautiful play there by DnS, getting the kill on one of those Hellions, not allowing him to get that, scouting information. We're going to see a Forge as well as a Twilight Council is going to start most likely going for those +1/+1 ground-based unit upgrades. And then, of course, he's got the Twilight Council as well. So, Stimpaks being researched out of the Tech Lab, and then we're also going to see those +1 upgrades coming in as well out of the Engineering Bay. But once again, both players are kind of giving each other a good amount of respect early on. In these early stages of the game, these Oracles are going to most likely try to get a little bit of some scouting information. That's exactly what they're able to do. See exactly what HeroMarine is doing at this stage in the game. And Blink is going to be researched. And then +1, of course, is being started. Mass Revelation goes on a lot of these buildings, so he's going to be able to see exactly what's being produced to see what kind of army composition he's going to be going up against, that is DnS. And so we're seeing a Marine Marauder composition early on. We're also seeing, a couple of Cyclones here and there. We're going to see more and more barracks being added on now. So I'm wondering what HeroMarine has kind of got planned for us as we approach that 6-minute mark in this game. Is he going to go for a little bit of a timing push, or is he just going to kind of sit back and continue to macro up a bigger and bigger force? And while this is all going on, we're seeing 5 more gateways on the opposite side of the map. So DnS looks like he very well might be going for, might want to try to get a little bit aggressive after those +1 upgrades finish up, as well as Blink. I would not be surprised if he started moving out with this army, trying to do a little bit of some damage now that this 3rd command center is now down for HeroMarine. But both players, really, up to this point in this series, we've seen a lot of respect by both players. Both of these guys have really, if you think about it, they've allowed the other player to kind of go on those 3 bases, not really showing too much aggression at any one, point, at least in the early stages so far of these first couple of games. Looks like HeroMarine, though, is going to be the first to start moving across the map with a couple of these Cyclones as well as Marines and Marauders. And there we go. The Blinks come in, but you got to be very careful. You do not want to lose all these units. Beautiful force fields trapping a bunch of those Marines and Marauders. And just like that, though, does look like some of these units are most definitely going to be chased off. Some of them will die, but only the lucky ones survive. But while this is all going on, there is a run-by, or a drive-by, I should say, with the one of those Hellions, trying to get a couple of kills there. Nothing terribly, no critical amounts of damage were dealt as of yet. But that said, we are going to see a very similar build to what we saw in game number 1 out of DnS. He's going for that robotics facility, but then he's also going for the robotics bay, so I'm assuming we're going to see Colossus once again. And I feel like he may feel slighted, as in game number 1 he felt that, if he would have had a little more time, I think he would have been just fine as far as getting enough Colossus out, because the Colossus in high numbers are absolutely terrifying for ground-based units, which is pretty much all that HeroMarine has at this point. Concussive Shells are going to be finishing up in less than 5 seconds. Resonating Glaives are going to be finishing up here for DnS, and then Infantry Armor level 1 will also be finishing for HeroMarine. So, it does look like HeroMarine once again wants to get a little bit aggressive. He doesn't want to allow this army composition from HeroMarine to get too big, as far as if something like the Colossus do happen, he does not want to allow there to be too many that get out on the map. Just like that, though, a couple of really nice force fields there do help get a couple of free kills, and it looks like, for the time being, HeroMarine is forced back. Disruptor switch is going to be coming out, so I actually really like this decision by DnS to go for a little bit of a different build, as far as, or I should say, a different unit composition. Going for the disruptors, those disruptor hits can be absolutely devastating to a Marine Marauder army. But that said, you know, if you start taking out, if you find a way to take out these disruptors, it can be it can turn into a GG scenario very quickly. So it does look like, though, HeroMarine sees that the disruptors are out, and he wants to start moving back home, which is probably the smartest decision, as he's going for those +2/+2 upgrades. He's going to go ahead and he's going to start getting all of course, like the Liberators. He's got the Ghosts out, which I think is a great decision, and now we might see some drops. Oh yes, I really like this decision a lot by HeroMarine to go for some drops, try to hit it multiple angles at once. He's, just as I thought he was starting to move back home, he is, but he's trying to kind of move a couple of armies out onto the playing field. Just like that, though, you got to be very careful. You do not want to lose a lot of this army here. It does look like HeroMarine is going to try to engage, at least at this point, but while part of his army is fighting the main army, which is here in the middle of the map, there is a big drop that's about to happen. This could do a lot of damage if it is not taken care of quickly. Here we go. It looks like DnS is pretty much occupied in the middle of the map, whereas all these units are going to have free range of this third base location, and the mass recall comes in and is going to be able to deal with it. But wow, a lot of damage was dealt there, and it does look like, once again, more drops are going to end up happening here. It does look like he's going to try to aim down maybe some tack structures, possibly more so than that, going for more and more of these probes, and that is huge play by HeroMarine. A great decision. It turned out to be an amazing decision, going for, of course, a lot of these units just getting, you know, going for the drop play. And then he's kind of being a little bit indecisive as to if he wants to fully commit here. But just like that, these units are actually doing a little bit of some damage, while the main army is actually over, pushing towards the main. Oh my god, these disruptors are going down so quickly right now. This is not good for DnS. You gotta be very careful. Do not want to lose those disruptors. And just like that, HeroMarine is starting to take a nice lead over his opponent, and DnS just got a little bit outplayed there, you know. And I mean, we're approaching that 12-minute mark, right? I mean, this all could change very quickly. You know, everything, it could really turn the tides of battle if, you know, some really good disruptor hits could really end it for HeroMarine. So DnS has got to be really careful, obviously. We're also going to see concussive shells are going to be researched. Charge is just going to be finishing up, and more of these Liberators are being added into the mix. And here we go. Those liberation zones are going to be great for HeroMarine at this point, so he can kind of slow push his opponent. The Ghosts are out, though. You got Ghosts, you've got, you know, Marines, Marauders, Liberators, Medevacs. This is a pretty scary army for HeroMarine. Oh, and the disruptor hits. Those disruptor hits are so scary. You got to be so careful. And these Liberators are trying to kind of slow push, but here we go. It does look like another Liberator gets a liberation zone near that 4th base location. Just really well played so far by HeroMarine. And here we go. DnS is going to try to jump on this army. He does exactly that. Beautiful play there by DnS, getting a lot of those units, but those liberation zones are going to start doing a little bit of some damage, and it does look like HeroMarine might be overstaying his welcome at this point. Those disruptors are trying to just really push this army back. Beautiful play here by DnS, really pushing this army back, at least at this point. But while this has all been going on, there's another army or small army that's trying to do as much damage as possible. And those stalkers with that blink are trying to get as many kills as possible. Nice kills on some of those ghosts there. But here we go. These armies are just crazy. Like, HeroMarine is everywhere right now. He's hitting at multiple angles at once. He is bleeding his opponent dry, like, just slowly but surely. And just like that, those disruptor hits right before they're able to do crippling amounts of damage to that army. They're able to pick up and fly away. Wow. 5th base right now is about to go down for HeroMarine. So he is absolutely, you know, in really good control at this point. But it does look like DnS, he knows that he's behind and he has got to get back in this game. And it does look like he's starting to move out. He's going to catch a couple of Liberators a little bit off guard. He's going to start target firing them down. And it looks like just like that, all those Liberators go down. Beautiful play. But at the same time, there are these, I mean, constant counterattacks here by HeroMarine, and this is where it gets really interesting because there's just so much stuff happening all over the map. DnS is slowly but surely crawling his way back into this game, but HeroMarine does drop and he is able to get a base for his troubles. And just like that, though, the SCVs are pulled off the line. I don't know, this is almost desperation mode. It doesn't seem like it, but just like that, the SCVs are being pulled off the line, almost running to their deaths at this point. But HeroMarine is just doing a lot of damage right now. He's doing so much damage with these run-bys, and that is what is hurting DnS so much right now. So many of these units and probes are just going down. And the Liberators are really the savior of this game for HeroMarine, I feel, because those liberation zones are just really making it difficult for DnS to attack and engage. And just like that, here we go. It looks like a surround is going to try to come in for HeroMarine. He wants to finish this right here and right now. Beautiful force fields kind of splitting this army up. But at the same time, is there enough here right now for HeroMarine to close it out? Once again, these liberation zones are going to do a lot of damage, but I just don't know if they did quite enough. Wow, what an intense game of TvP that we have witnessing right now in this best of 5. 2 players really going at it, giving it their absolute all. And all it's going to take is one engagement to just end this game. Beautiful force fields there, not allowing HeroMarine to do much. DnS might be smelling blood right now. He is doing a lot of damage right now to this army composition. SCVs are pulled off the line once again. The question is there going to be enough here for DnS? And I don't know. Here come the reinforcements. But, oh, man, I don't know if I like this. As HeroMarine is able to push DnS back. But, I mean, it just feels like, can HeroMarine just hold on? Because if he's able to hold this, you know, hold the line, he's got another base that's mining. You know, another, you know, Nexus is going down, or that 4th Nexus is being retaken. But HeroMarine is just so much further ahead as far as the economy is concerned. And it does look like, I mean, we're seeing a lot of red that's starting to just trickle down to the middle of the map. HeroMarine very well might try to go for the killing blow here shortly, as he's in a better position right now. It feels like he's just doing, he's in firm control of this game. And man, there is just so many units that are starting to flood in. Marine Marauder Medevac composition, I absolutely love it. Here we go. Those disruptor hits, you got to be careful as you go in, but those medevacs are just absolutely helping out so much. And then hitting at multiple angles at once is doing absolute, you know, just working as a charm for HeroMarine, as he's going to hit from another angle. Once again, you're going to try to get the cancel on this 4th Nexus. Once again, HeroMarine is playing absolutely incredible right now, doing a lot of damage. Oh, a little bit of a miss micro on that disruptor hit, but just like that, HeroMarine takes game number 2 against DnS and is now 1 game away from winning this best of 5 series. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between HeroMarine and DnS. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and I'll see you guys all in game number 3. What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? it's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the top left hand corner of Dreamcatcher Ellie, playing with the red Terran pieces. He's currently up in this series and wants to finish off this series right here and right now. His name is HeroMarine. And his opponent, spawning the bottom right hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Protoss pieces. He's currently down in the series, but certainly not out of it just yet. His name is DnS. So guys and girls, this series, and I really, a best of 5 series that was played at the WCS in Austin, and as I said, it was in the round of 16. An absolutely incredible matchup, though. I mean, both these players have felt really even up to this point as far as skill is concerned. I've got to say, HeroMarine has gotten the advantage by really just, staying kind of true to what he wants to do. He's been able to he's been given the respect to go ahead and kind of do the builds he wants and kind of dictates the pace of the game, which I would love to see DnS in this game really try to dictate the pace of the game a little bit more. It does look like DnS is going for a very similar build to what he did in game number 1. He's going to go ahead and go for that gateway into the natural nexus, and then of course following that up with a cybernetics core. On the opposite side, we are going to see a probe that is trying to just be a little bit of a nuisance. But nonetheless, it does look like the barracks into the orbital command and then into the natural command center is what HeroMarine is going to do. And I got to say, HeroMarine has been playing incredibly well in this series so far. I mean, just really, managing his army very well. And, just microing really well and just kind of building up a bigger and bigger force and just slowly taking over DnS's army. And, I mean, just very well played by HeroMarine so far in this series. But as I said, I think the story is more about DnS and what he should do in order to try to get on the scoreboard and, not let it be a 3-0 sweep. I mean, it's just, HeroMarine's got all the momentum going, and the thing is, if DnS can get a win here, he of course can, there's a lot of opportunities to possibly, turn the tide as far as that's all concerned. You really want momentum is everything in StarCraft 2, and if you got a good amount of momentum, it definitely helps. Now, very interestingly enough, HeroMarine is going to go a little bit off script, I guess you could say. He's going to get a factory built over near this gold base location, and so I really like this decision actually, because I think he's going to go possibly for a little bit of a push very early on in this game, and this is something that we really haven't seen. It's been macro-focused games in games 1 and 2 by both players, but this game looks like it could be we could be in for a little bit of some aggression. It looks like we are going to see one factory is down, and that factory, of course, is going to be getting a cyclone out of it. We're seeing some Marines coming out of the barracks 2 at a time, and then, I guess cyclone coming out of that second factory as well. So this is interesting. I think we're setting ourselves up here for a little bit of a push by HeroMarine, possibly a timing push. If this is scouted, then of course maybe this is going to be shut down very early, but HeroMarine looks like he's just trying to kind of play some mind games. And, StarCraft 2 is very, much so compared to the chess of video games, as many have said. And it's very true, because there's so many mind games that go into every single move that a player does throughout the course of a series. And these guys know each other's, they have watched each other's replays. They played against each other numerous times. So the big thing is that nothing really, they've pretty much seen everything, but they always wonder what is the opponent doing at pretty much at every different time. And just like that, here we go. We are going to see a push coming in from HeroMarine at that 4.5, a little bit past that 4.5 minute mark. He is coming with a bunch of Cyclones, Marines, and now the SCVs have been pulled. I absolutely love this. This could be HeroMarine very well may catch DnS completely off guard. DnS had no idea that this was coming, and it's here right now at the front doorstep of that natural nexus. Here we go. The question is there going to be enough here for DnS? as so many of these units are getting target fired down. The probes are being pulled off the line. You know it's a desperation mode when those probes are being pulled off, but these Cyclones are so tanky. Is there going to be enough here? It looks like there might just be barely enough. So many probes are going down, though, at this point. Oh, my God. The Cyclones are doing so much damage. HeroMarine wants to go win this series 3 games to nothing. Move on to the round of 8, also known as the quarterfinals. Oh, my God. The amount of damage that's being dealt right now. I don't know if DnS is going to be able to recover from this. Now, it looks like he very well might be able to push this army back, or will he? Because these Cyclones are doing just so much damage. Oh my God, so much damage is being dealt right now, and it looks like finally this is probably going to get cleaned up, but just so much damage is being dealt. I mean, so many probes are going down. These Cyclones are just so tanky. It is unbelievable. That third Nexus has gone down, but DnS now is in a lot of trouble. He's got a lot to make up now. He's going to have to, instead of making army, he's going to have to go ahead and just, you know, get his economy back up. And their aggression looks like it might continue. Oh, wow, that third command center, while this has all been going on, third command center is going down. We're going to see the engineering bay going down. We're also seeing 2 more barracks being added on. Starport's going to be added on as well. And this is exactly where HeroMarine wants to be at this point. And I think that DnS needs, at this point, to go in for the counterattack. He's got to counterattack his opponent, because if he does not, it is going to spell absolute disaster in this game. HeroMarine is very far ahead, and at this point, you know, the mules, which is pretty much man's best friend for a Terran player, are just going to be so helpful at this point in the game, just really ramping up that production. Now, it looks like DnS is going to go ahead. He's going to go into his Twilight Council, and then, of course, also getting a forge constructed. But it's just, I just don't know if it's going to be enough for DnS right now. He's so far behind, and he's going to have to do what he can to get back in this game. Because, once again, I would assume HeroMarine is not going to allow DnS to be on these 3 bases and not just going to give him a lot of time. And I love the idea that HeroMarine had there, going ahead and going for that push, throwing DnS completely off guard and doing a lot of damage. So a lot of work has to be made up now for DnS, and it does look like, you know, if he's given enough time, he's obviously gonna have a chance. But it looks like with 5 gateways coming in now for DnS, I would have to say he is probably going to be going for a push here shortly. You know, he's got to go in and he's got to try to do some damage against HeroMarine. He has to. It is not a matter of, you know, you can just kind of take your time. You are going to have to do a little bit of damage at some point and just kind of go an eye for an eye instead of allowing HeroMarine to completely dictate the pace of this game. And this is exactly what HeroMarine wants. He wants to dictate the pace of the game. He knows he did a lot of damage, so now he's going to sit back, build up his army, and just overwhelm DnS as we go. But DnS cannot allow that to happen. DnS has got to move out and try to do a little bit of some damage. He's got to pull a rabbit out of a hat and start, you know, doing a decent amount of damage. Now, here's something I really like. Okay, so DnS is going for the gold base. I love this idea and this decision by DnS. To try to get back in this game, he's going to go for a 4th Nexus, but the 4th Nexus is going to be at the gold base. Now, if this is scouted, this is going to be really devastating, but at the same time, DnS might be in a lot of trouble because HeroMarine is not letting up. He is starting to move out when Stimpack finishes up here. Charge is going to be researched as well, but here we go. It does look like HeroMarine is going to start moving out. And these siege tanks, now that they're sieged up, this is where it's going to get really scary for DnS. He has got to be very careful here. This could be the end of the series if he's not careful. The slow push is coming in for HeroMarine. He's got a lot of siege tanks. This is such a scary position to be in if you're DnS. Here we go. DnS is going to try to pounce on this army right here and right now. Doing pretty well right now, but at the same time, HeroMarine is starting to take a massive supply lead, and HeroMarine wins this series 3 games to nothing. I hope you guys did enjoy this game and this series between HeroMarine and DnS. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for news, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.